talk about Oasis, we're not just talking about a band. We're talking about a full-blown cultural explosion. These were the lads who gave us anthems we still sing out at 2 a.m., bar fights that made headlines, and enough brotherly beef to feed reality TV for decades. Wonderwall, Don't Look Back in Anger, and Champagne Supernova weren't just songs of the 90s. They owned it. But here's the real kicker. Oasis were not just famous for their music. They were famous for being Oasis.
I think I'll be watching pure Oasis.
The arrogance, the chaos, the wild interviews where Liam and Noel threw shade like it was an Olympic sport. It was all part of the magic, and you can't look away, even when you want to.
I can't stop. I can't stop. I can't stop. I can't stop. I can't stop.
The drama was relentless. From arguing backstage and walk-offs mid-tour to diss tracks and public feuds that kept everyone talking. If there was a way to make a scene, Oasis found it and made it legendary.
Each other on Twitter and then you phone each other up afterwards and have a laugh. Yeah.
Oh, God, no, that's well for real, man.
Is it really?
Yeah.
So how did two brothers from Manchester end up flipping the music world upside down? Grab a snack, because this story is as messy, brilliant, and loud as the Gallagher boys themselves. Before they were lighting up stadiums, Liam and Noel Gallagher were just two scrappy kids growing up in Burnage, Manchester, dodging their rough home life and dreaming about something bigger. Their dad was violent, their family broke. And music? That was the escape hatch. Liam was the first to jump in. He joined a little-known local band called The Rain. Even the name sounded depressing. But Liam had one thing nobody could teach: swagger. He wasn't just singing, he was owning the room. But they needed something more, and that's when Noel came in. He didn't just stroll in and pick up a guitar. He laid down the law. If he was joining, he was the boss. He came with a pocket full of songs and a chip on his shoulder bigger than Manchester itself. The band got a new name, Oasis, lifted straight off a poster for an Inspiral Carpets gig. Yeah, not exactly Shakespeare, but it stuck. From there, they started gigging around Manchester, loud and unapologetic. It didn't take long before they landed the gig that changed everything. They opened for another band at King Tut's Wah Wah Hut in Glasgow, and Alan McGee from Creation Records just happened to be there. When Oasis dropped their debut album, Definitely, maybe in 1994, it didn't just hit, it became the fastest-selling debut in UK history at the time. Critics loved it, fans lost their minds, and suddenly every moody kid with a bad haircut was trying to start a band. Songs like Live Forever and Supersonic weren't just hits, they were anthems. Liam's snare, Noel's wall of sound guitar, it was messy, loud, and pure magic. But if Definitely Maybe made them stars, what's the story Morning Glory? Made them legends. Released in 1995, it had Wonderwall, Don't Look Back in Anger, and Champagne Supernova, aka the holy trinity of 90s bangers. The album sold over 22 million copies worldwide and turned Oasis from British icons into a global phenomenon. They even sparked the famous Battle of Britpop with Blur, where the two bands released singles in the same week and the media turned it into a full-on national event.
The newspapers were pitting Oasis against Blur.
I
It was
remember that.
Oasis v Blur.
Oasis lost that chart battle, but long-term, they won the war. By 1996, they played in Nebworth for 2 nights to 250,000 people. Literally 1 out of every 20 Brits applied for a ticket. It was the peak. No one, not even them, could have imagined what came next. Their third album, Be Here Now, dropped in 1997 with sky-high hype, and it sold like crazy at first. But underneath all the noise, cracks were showing. The album was bloated and overproduced. At that point, the press started turning away, and so did the fans. The late 90s and early 2000s were a mess. Band members were dropping like flies. Bonehead and Guigsy said their goodbyes, and Noel and Liam's legendary fights somehow got even messier. Missed gigs, canceled tours, and that unforgettable moment when Liam got his teeth knocked out in a Munich bar brawl turned chaos into their brand. Albums like Standing on the Shoulder of Giants and Heathen Chemistry still had their moments with songs like Go Let It Out and Stop Crying Your Heart Out, but the shine was starting to fade. Just when everyone was counting them out, Oasis pulled a mini miracle. Don't Believe the Truth in 2005 and Dig Out Your Soul in 2008 reminded the world why they mattered.
It's be about time.
Tracks like The importance of being Idol and Lila showed they still had that Gallagher magic when they wanted it. But in 2009, it all blew up. For real this time. Right before a festival show in Paris, Liam and Noel had another bust-up backstage. Guitars were allegedly thrown, words definitely were, and Noel quit on the spot. Oasis was officially over.
Well, Noel Gallagher is not in Oasis anymore. But when he was, he used to sing Half the World Away, Don't Look Back in Anger.
Neither Gallagher brother even pretended to play nice. Liam formed Beady Eye with the leftover Oasis bandmates, and honestly, the music wasn't bad, but it just wasn't Oasis. Noel launched Noel Gallagher's High Flying Birds, delivering more polished classic rock sounds and winning over a chunk of the old fan base. Even years later, the two couldn't stop throwing shots at each other in interviews, tweets, or award shows.
So you call me. Stop tweeting. You're bigger than that. You're better than that.
The band ended, but the Gallagher drama stayed undefeated.
Didn't leave Oasis. Noel Gallagher left Oasis because he couldn't handle the vibes anymore, couldn't handle the rock and roll.
But no matter how much success they found alone, they still got the question, when are you getting the band back together?
Right, what question do you think Liam is the most tired of being asked? Top 3 answers. 1, when's Oasis getting back together? How's your brother Noel?
Well, if the 2025 reunion announcements are anything to go by, maybe, just maybe, the lads aren't done writing history yet.
He doesn't want it, and he knows he knows that neither of us particularly are fucking interested in it.
If you thought the music was loud, you should have heard the fights. Because when it came to chaos, Oasis didn't just flirt with it, they took it home, married it, and started a family. The Gallagher brothers fought so often and so publicly, it basically became part of their brand. One of the most infamous scraps, that 1994 brawl in a Los Angeles hotel room, right after their first US tour show. The fight was so bad that Noel bailed for San Francisco, leaving Liam to scramble and apologize to fans. And that was just the warm-up act. There were cricket bats involved backstage at gigs, guitars smashed, fists thrown. Honestly, if they'd sold pay-per-view tickets to Gallagher fights, they'd probably be richer. Then there were the award shows. If Oasis showed up, you knew someone was getting roasted. Noel once walked up to the Brit Awards stage and insulted INXS's Michael Hutchence by calling him a has-been and made a total spectacle. And let's not forget his legendary diss during an interview saying he hoped Damon Albarn and Alex James from Blur would catch AIDS and die. Yeah, that one aged like milk, and Noel later apologized.
He needs some milk!
As for lawsuits, oh, they had those too. Oasis were sued for plagiarism more than once. Coca-Cola sued over Shaker Maker sounding a little too much like, I'd like to teach the world to sing, but they settled it out of court. Then there was the Whatever lawsuit when a little-known musician claimed Noel ripped off part of his song. Another payout, another lesson learned maybe. And drugs? Drugs were practically the unofficial sixth band member. Cocaine, alcohol, you name it. The band leaned into the full rock and roll lifestyle cliche so hard it became reality. They once admitted they couldn't even remember recording parts of their songs because everyone was so deep in it.
I was in the thick of it, man. I don't remember any of that.
Well, of course you remember it.
Fucking partying and getting off the place.
In a way, the scandals were never separate from the music. The chaos, the madness, and the absolute refusal to behave was part of why Oasis felt real. No polish, no filters, just raw, messy, unforgettable history. But if you thought Liam and Noel were wild on stage, you should have seen their real lives behind the scenes. Liam was pure rock star chaos, smashing things, crashing parties, and feuding with everyone, including his own reflection. He had a string of famous relationships, a couple of high-profile divorces, and a DNA test or two to confirm love child rumors. Classic Liam behavior. Noel, on the other hand, tried to play the sensible older brother card, at least compared to Liam's tabloid circus. He married Meg Matthews in 1997, but that blew up after a few messy years of partying. Then, in 2011, he settled down with Sarah McDonald, and for a while it seemed like he had traded in the chaos for some peace. Keyword seemed. After 12 years, they called it quits with a divorce. Say what you will about the Gallagher brothers, but Oasis didn't just change the game. They redefined it, selling over 70 million albums worldwide, racking up multiple Brit Awards, Grammy noms, and MTV wins, and turning every show into a legendary moment, including their iconic Nebworth gigs. Definitely Maybe and What's the Story? Morning Glory aren't just considered classic albums. They basically set the blueprint for every moody indie kid who picked up a guitar afterward. And even though critics drag Be Here Now for being over the top, it still went platinum almost instantly. As for the bank accounts, Noel's sitting pretty with an estimated $70 million net worth thanks to songwriting royalties and smart solo moves.
I do it all myself, hence me being a genius.
Liam's trailing behind with somewhere around $6 million. But listen, he still turns heads every time he steps onto a stage, parka jacket and all.
What is Liam Gallagher wearing? I'm wearing a parka, as per usual.
Their legacy is simple. Oasis didn't just make music. They made a movement as lads with bad attitudes who wrote